It won't take an expert detective to sniff out a star when they see them. Blue's Clues and You is the newest reboot from Nickelodeon and stars Filipino-American Josh De La Cruz. The original series earned 8 consecutive Emmy nominations for preschool children's series between 1998 and 2005. Find out how a joke from De La Cruz's mom got him started on Broadway. Carolyn has all the clues.
Hi, I'm Josh De La Cruz. I'm the new host of Blues Clues and You. Let's take a look.
It's me, Josh, and this is my puppy Blue. We can't wait to play Blues Clues with you. It's Blues Clues and You. I think they're here somewhere. Let's use the thinking chair. Let's use the handy-dandy notebook and help all our friends. Tickety-tock, slippery soap, shovel and pail, Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper.
You'd prepare for the sides, you'd go in for the audition, and then, you just never hear back. I just assumed that I didn't get the part, and then all of a sudden I get this email from my agents, and they were like, yeah, I guess this is still happening a month later. So I went for my callback, and this time it was for, I guess, the creatives, producers. There's a larger room, but not dissimilar from an audition. Then I get back home, I get an email saying, hey, they want to test you for the show. This is great. And by the way, here's a video that they sent along too. And it was their video of finding the search for the new Blues Clues host, and that over 3,000 people had been auditioned. And I was like, oh, that's why. And then I went in for my testing. It was with the green screen. They had me in like a blue t-shirt, which was cool. I went in, I did my sides. The director was amazing. There was a lot of masking and drapes in the room at the time because for sound and light purposes. And the director gives me notes. He's like, oh yeah, Steve, do you have anything that you want to say? And then like emerging from the curtains is Steve Burns. He's like, oh yeah, this is Steve, by the way. And it took me a second to realize, like, Steve, oh my, Steve, hey! And of course I got super nervous. And as soon as he opened his mouth, there's so much depth to his voice that it was like a hug of comfort. And I was like, oh wow. As he was talking to me, I was like, I feel confident. I feel like my self-esteem is boosted. I feel like I belong here, just like he did on the original show.
Yo! So, what's going on?
Well, growing up, representation on television wasn't what it is today. I certainly never saw myself as becoming a film or television actor, just because I didn't really see it. The people that I saw on screen were kind of caricatures of stereotypes, but I never connected with it. So it's never something that was on my radar. And I watched TV a lot. My mom would tell me, you should just be an actor. And I'd be like, no, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I didn't think she realized the gravitas of her words at the time, inceptioning it into my mind that I would later become an actor. Not until I got involved in theater and I learned about Lea Salonga and Lou Diamond Phillips and B.D. Wong and so many other Asian American actors that weren't playing stereotypes, that were playing amazing roles in theater. And I thought, oh, okay, I see myself there. I could do that. And so I never envisioned I would ever become a film, television performer or actor. It was theater, and I love theater. So to be a part of this show is so incredible just because I get to be me. I'm not playing a stereotype. I'm Filipino. I'm a Filipino American, but that is not the meat of the role. And the coolest thing, especially with Halloween having just happened, was that I'll get tagged in posts of kids dressed up as me, which is crazy, Asian or not. Getting ready for the audition, I was working on Aladdin on Broadway, and I was very fortunate to have a cast that was like family, and we would help each other rehearse for auditions and things like that. And when they found out that I was auditioning for Blue's Clues, the entire time we were just reminiscing about the show and the impact that it had in our lives. And we were laughing and singing and like, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember this? And we just thought it was so cool. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, wow, this show has helped people in such amazing ways. I'm really proud of the creatives and everyone involved with the show. Is that at its core, it's about helping kids and getting them ready for preschool and kindergarten. And they don't ever want to take any moment for granted. They don't ever want anybody to feel left behind or left out, but also they still want to challenge kids. So I think what was great was learning how to play Blue's Clues with the kids. The best piece of advice that Steve gave me and Donovan imparted on me was that the kid is the expert. You're not talking to them or asking them questions because they're there. They are the leading expert in whatever field it is. And I think that's so important because kids, very rarely, I know I felt that I didn't have a chance to speak up or that my opinions weren't really taken seriously growing up until I became an adult. And so it's really empowering to be able to ask help from a kid.
Play Blue's Clues, of course!
I've learned, and I hope that kids and further generations will learn, no matter their skin, gender, or whatever social background you come from. Just because you don't see it and it hasn't been done doesn't mean that it can't be you. And don't shut yourself off to those, don't close those doors, because you could be the person opening those doors. So I'm super, super honored to be part of this show, and I think it's really cool that kids are dressing up like me.
Blue's Clues and You.
Blue's Clues and You, the brand new series coming this November to Nickelodeon.
After seeing Dr. Sleep, the continuation of Stephen King's unforgettable The Shining, I bet you won't be able to get any sleep because it looks legit terrifying. Join Rick Hong as he takes us to the premiere and talks to the film star, Ewan McGregor, on this masterpiece.
Hey everyone, Rick Hong here for Hollywood First Look Features. We are at the premiere for Dr. Sleep. The movie stars Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson. This is the sequel to Stephen King's The Shining. Let's take a first look.
Not many ride the bus this far north. You're running away from something?
I'm running away from myself, I guess.
Hi. You can hear me. You're magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic. I always called it The Shining. The world is a hungry place. A dangerous place.
These people, they hurt people like us.
These empty devils, they'll eat what shines. And they've noticed that little girl.
Wow, hi there.
How does it feel to be here in the world? Be in a movie with the world of Stephen King?
I'm really excited to be a part of the Shining legacy. I'm excited for people to see it too.
Your character has a big part. I haven't seen the movie, but I know this character. So did you read the book, either before or during production to get a real sense of Abra?
I read some of the book before, during shooting actually, kind of to get a grip on Abra's character. It really helped. Oh, it's so heavy though.
So I read the book after we did the film on purpose, just because, I think that it's two separate projects, two separate work of arts. And I wanted to give the respect to Mike to not have preconceived notions about the character. In the book, you'll see that Snakebite's older, and in the movie, she's my age, she's 15, she's 16, whatever it is. So, it's two different characters for me. And I think that it was really cool to see to do the movie first, to create Snakebite with Mike, and with Stephen King's blessing, obviously, and then just to read it afterwards and see the comparisons, but also the beauty and the differences. It was really great. It was really cool.
Did you ever think, like in your wildest dreams, that you would be the person like doing the sequel to The Shining?
No. Never in a million years. And it's funny, even hearing you say it now, it feels kind of like it's not real. Whenever the word sequel to The Shining would pop into my head, I'd feel like I wanted to throw up a little bit. No, my favorite thing about the horror genre, and the reason I think I'll always be drawn to it, is I think that's where we put our anxieties and our insecurities and our darkness as individuals and as a culture. And the amazing thing about that for me is that the genre lets you be brave in little increments, just to make it through the movie. And I think that's amazing exercise for us.
Do you have a Stephen King book favorite?
Yeah, Carrie would be mine.
You want to be the girl that has like the telekinetic powers. And
Growing up, people always compared me to Sissy Spacek, so I think maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah.
I think Scatman did such a beautiful job of portraying a man who is very simple, unadorned, has a gift, has had it for a long time, appreciates it, and is not afraid of the fact that he's a positive man trying to spread positivity in the world. But he knows that when that gift is visited upon you, depending on what your age, it's a difficult thing to carry.
I stayed away from the book until afterwards. Yeah, well, look, Mike Flanagan's extremely well prepared, so it's really about understanding the interpretation that Mike Flanagan has of the novel. That's more important than anything, really. And so Mike Flanagan's interpreted the novel for the screen, and then I have to understand what it is Mike Flanagan's trying to realize and then interpret that in a way that's helpful.
Well, speaking of Mike, do you feel like you're in good hands because
Mike's done 2 other Stephen King adaptations. Exactly. So, yeah, if you want to do Stephen King, you want to stay close to Mike Flanagan. He really understands King's literature, yeah.
And he understands the horror genre.
Yeah, and he's very, very respectful, and technically I think he's right up there.
Follow-on novel called Dr. Sleep, and in it he took some of the characters from The Shining and he expanded on some of the themes of The Shining, but he took it in a different direction, and he expanded one of those themes to quite a great extent that it doesn't really. He has created this band of supernatural characters called the True Knot, who feed off the psychic energy of children, which is very strong, and but they managed to release that energy by torturing them and killing them ultimately. So they're a pretty unbelievably horrendous and violent group of people, and that sort of is a whole nother element that didn't really take place in the Shining movie, other than in the energy of that hotel. And there's also a younger character, Abra, played by Kylie, who's just an amazing young actor. And so there are some new characters, obviously, in this film too.
Until next time, I'm Rick Hong. You've been watching Hollywood First Look Features.
There's a place. You sure you want to do this?
I'm ready.
Yes, you run, dear. And then I will find you, and you will scream for years.
Come and play with us forever and ever.
It's not easy being a star before you even hit puberty, but for many Hollywood phenoms, they've handled the pressures of fame in Hollywood just fine. Join Amy Cassandra as she takes us to the red carpet of the Kids in the Spotlight Awards and see who was honored on this special occasion.
Amy Cassandra Martinez with Hollywood First Look Features, and we're on the Paramount lot for the 10th annual Kids in the Spotlight Awards. Let's take a first look. Celebrating its 10-year anniversary, the Kids in the Spotlight Gala recognized young filmmakers in the foster care system who use filmmaking as an artistic expression of their lives. The unique organization provides a platform for foster care youth to tell their stories. Over the last decade, Kids has curated 80 short films, and each year their accomplishments are feted at a gala screening and presentation.
Hi, my name's Ariel Winter, and let's take a first look.
So Kids in the Spotlight is a great way for kids to be able to have a creative outlet. What was that first creative outlet for you?
Well, I mean, I started acting at 4, so I think it's probably filmmaking as well. And I think the organization means so much to so many people and to me because it is so important to have an outlet. It is so important to feel like you can be creative and to do something and to feel empowered. And I think it's really beautiful to be able to do that, to give them, the hope and the feeling that, they can do whatever they want to do. We can all in our lives do anything that we want to do as long as we apply ourselves to it and they're getting the tools to be able to do that. Yeah, and I think that's something that's really special and really beautiful. And even if they don't go into entertainment, one day, they've had the opportunity to try different things, to know what they are interested in, know what they want to do, and they've had the tools to work towards that. And that's a really beautiful thing because it doesn't just have to be in filmmaking. And this is specifically about filmmaking, but it can apply to anything, as long as you have the opportunity to do different things.
When did you first come up with the idea? Because I know we are now in the 10th anniversary of it, but how did that come about?
Well, I'm married to an actor, Antonio Di Charity, and so I've been exposed to the arts ever since, we started dating and, some 20 years ago. And he was teaching an acting class at a group home, and that was my first time ever being exposed to kids in foster care. And that experience cracked my heart wide open to the point where I knew that I wanted to do something to make a difference in these kids' lives. And I know that I love the arts. And I'm like, give them that. Give them a platform to be seen and heard and celebrated. Well, this is our 10-year anniversary, and it's also our Kids Awards, where we screen all the films that the kids made this year. And after the screening, we present them with awards for Best Actor, Best Screenplay, Best Film, Best Ensemble Cast. It's our version of the Golden Globes, the Academy Awards, just giving them that platform to be seen and heard and just celebrated.
Today I'm presenting. A few years ago, I directed one of these, and just such a wonderful program, and I think the last few years I've just been too busy to be here, and I was so happy that I was able to be around to get back to these kids. It's really a wonderful program.
What do you think is important for people to know if they're thinking about adopting children from the foster care system?
I think you should absolutely do it. Okay, here's my little elevator pitch. First of all, if you don't do it, then you're also part of the problem because now you know that there is an issue. So you can't turn a blind eye. You can help if you don't want to take on the full task of fostering, then you could help another person who's a foster parent because fostering is very lonely. Los Angeles County alone makes up 10% of the kids in foster care for the entire United States, which is a huge problem. And upwards of 98% of our human trafficking victims, 70% of our incarcerated, and 50% of our homeless population all came from foster care. So if you are able to love a child and take them into your home, you're having a ripple effect, not just on that child's life, but on so many lives that they would be impacting. And really what they need is love, and they need security, and it's amazing. I am still a foster parent. I've adopted through foster care, and I will continue to foster kids for as long as they let me.
Tell us exactly what projects you guys were involved in.
I was involved in Burnt Feathers and Broken Wings, and mine was A Majestic Wish.
Okay, so inspirations behind that, and what exactly you did on those films.
Ours is basically a documentary, and my inspiration was just everything that I've been through, you feel me? It's time to let it out. It's not good to keep it bottled up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's 4 girls.
4 girls.
Yeah.
Mine was just a romantic comedy. It was more like, it has reality, but then it's also, like a fantasy, but it also had a meaning behind it, like that never give up.
How do you think you've changed as a person after these now 6 years of, working with Kids in the Spotlight?
I think I grew up in a household where my dad worked in the foster care system, so I had a sense for how challenging that could be and how hard it could be on kids. But I think I have an even stronger sense of how sort of rigged the system is against these kids, and simultaneously how resilient they are and how they are ready for opportunities if opportunities are given to them. I've just seen so many of these kids that when they're given the opportunity, are thriving with responsibility and with a big project like making a short film. And it translates into going to college, and I think it's less than 3% of the foster care system graduate from college. That percentage is much higher when they've gone through Kids in the Spotlight, much higher. I don't know that exact number, but there are lots of kids here that are going to college. I think it ends up having a big effect on their lives, and in doing so, it has a bigger effect on ours because we see what the possibilities are.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez with Hollywood First Look Features.
That's going to do it for us here on Hollywood First Look Features. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave you with a look at the world according to Jeff Goldblum, which is premiering on Disney Plus next week. Please go to our YouTube channel for an exclusive 5 reasons why you should watch The World According to Jeff Goldblum with correspondent Sari Cohen. Until next time, thanks for joining us.
This show is a little off the beaten track, and it may be unexpected and surprising. So, taste it and enjoy. My name is Jeff Goldblum. The name of the show is The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Be forewarned, I'm in the show a lot. Wow. I'm sort of fascinated by a lot of things. Sneakers. These shoes are worth $12,000 to $15,000. Oh, boy. Denim. Ice cream. Hey, can I guess what kind of ice cream you want? Jewelry. Isn't that something? Tattoos. Whoa. Ah! Is it gonna keep vibrating like that? Yeah. I like that. And then, every once in a while, I break into song. Okay, anyway, what were we talking about? This is what the show is gonna be like. So if any of this tempts you or wearies you, you can make a decision right here. I follow my own natural curiosity. Do you believe in ghosts? Can you sing Anchors Away? Can you make a sound like a seagull? Notting Hill. You ever see that movie? Could you eat my skin? What other Irish songs do I know? If I were meat that we'd put in a Korean barbecue, what would I be?
A pork belly. No, not because you have a belly. No.
I'm not here to be didactic or professorial in any way. It's like a fun house. I know nothing. That's the premise. I'm a humble student. And, in fact, a kind of a late bloomer. A late gold bloomer.
Hooray for Harrah's! Hollywood First Look Features and Harrah's Resort SoCal in Funner, California wants to give one of our lucky followers an overnight stay in a standard room plus $100 resort credit and a pair of concert tickets just for being awesome. It's a great way for us to start the giving season, and here's how you can enter to win. First, follow us on Hollywood First Look Features and Harrah's SoCal on Instagram, or go to Facebook and look for Harrah's Resort Southern California. Then comment below on this post what you're most excited about to check out in Funner, California. This contest begins November 5th and will run through the 20th. The winner will be announced through Instagram direct message November 21st, 2019, so make sure you check. Good luck!